and Ellio do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of Stingray Media, its staff, or contributors. Callers to the program accept full responsibility for the views expressed. The show host and affiliates are not liable for any statements made or any harm claimed. All callers to the program indemnify Straight Talk from all claims. Offensive, defamatory, or unlawful content will not be tolerated. Be a part of the conversation by calling 745-2626. Now, here's Straight Talk with Austin and Ellio on Bobo 103.1.
And hello, K-Man, and welcome to another episode of Straight Talk, broadcasting live exclusively on Bobo 103.1 FM and simulcasting live over YouTube and Facebook under the key search word Straight Talk Radio Show. I'm your host, Austin Harris. My colleague, Ellio Solomon, is on leave. And by that, I mean he's on leave, but he's not on vacation. For those of you who tuned in yesterday, you will have known that I told you that he's working diligently as we prepare new online infrastructure so that we can bring you, the valuable listeners of our program, an even better, more enjoyable, and hopefully more informative listening environment. So he doesn't have his feet up. He's busy working, doing some technical work, building infrastructure, and hopefully we'll be able to unveil those plans relatively soon. But he is not with me in studios, and I'm all by my lonesome. So if you want to keep me company, the phone lines are open at 745-2626 on this absolutely gorgeous Friday evening. Certainly, I'm glad for the end of this week. This has been one of those weeks that though it's just 5 days long, it feels a lot longer. I feel like I've had an entire month piled into what has been 5 short days this past week, and I really am looking forward to the weekend, which for me will begin in about 2 hours. The phone lines are open. 745-2626 is the number in studios. For those of you who want to call in, like I said, maybe keep me company in the absence of my colleague who is on leave and working outside of the studio. If talking isn't your thing, by all means, you can reach out to me using our WhatsApp line, 928-2562. And from there, you can either share a WhatsApp text message or you can get creative and send me a WhatsApp audio note. Either way, your messages and or your audio will get to me where you intended it in the first place. Another great show lined up for you this Friday. We've got a number of, topics to keep us busy. But also coming up at 5 o'clock, we are going to be joined by Tortuga, a local company that continues to grow globally while honoring its Cayman heritage. We're going to chat with the Tortuga company and learn a little bit about the Tortuga story from its humble beginnings until the present day, some of its global ambitions and what it has been doing across the globe and in the region, but also sharing some more details about again, how Tortuga continues to maintain its Cayman heritage, acknowledging its roots and bringing you the same quality service you have grown accustomed to. We will also be giving away a Tortuga rum cake, albeit with a little bit of trivia, which I will share those details when our guest arrives. We will be hosting Miss Natalie Porter, who will be our guest coming up immediately following the 5 o'clock BBC top of the hour news. So you definitely want to tune in and be a part of that. Likewise, I really hope you didn't miss yesterday's program. Woo-wee, what a doozy that was. MP Chris Saunders, the independent MP for Boddentown West, the sole independent member of Parliament, certainly didn't pull any punches on his first visit to our program. And certainly, given the excitement that he brought with him, we're definitely going to be welcoming Mr. Saunders back to the program, either before or possibly after the next sitting of Parliament. which he enlightened us by saying that it is expected to come sometime in September. Obviously, as the dates are pinned down more specifically, we'll share those details with you. But just, again, an opportunity, some of the things he talked about. First of all, he unveiled his plans to bring a private member's motion that will seek, for the first time since 1972, to lower the Cayman to U.S. dollar exchange rate as an attempt to put more money in the hands of consumers and businesses by making your dollar stretch even further. Obviously, this will impact, in the first instance, businesses who are buying inventory and stock here in the Cayman Islands. And obviously, it'll be cheaper for them to purchase their inventory stock items. And we hope, trust, pray that they will have the wherewithal to pass those savings on to you, the consumer. But likewise, for those of you travelers who either like to exchange your CI to U.S. dollars, you'll get bigger bang for your dollar. And obviously, that will also increase your own purchasing power. We shall see how the House will, or the Parliament will vote as it relates to that private member's motion. But it is going to be one of those parliamentary debates that you definitely don't want to miss. If you have to work, don't worry. You can count on us here at Straight Talk to follow it for you. And of course, we'll do our endeavor best to share any highlights that may come from those discussions and debates live here on the air. So again, in September, a private member's motion to lower the exchange rate from Cayman, from CI dollars to U.S. dollars. As we said last night, we can anticipate the banking cartel beginning to sharpen their lobbying pencils. And really, it's going to be a good opportunity to see firsthand just how serious your new National Coalition for Caymanians are about supporting Caymanian interests. Are they going to side with the banks and protect their interests? Or are they going to seek to really introduce real savings, real cost of living reductions, a real benefit to the reduction in inflation through this motion and support it? Again, we don't know which way the pendulum will swing, but it for certain is guaranteed to be an interesting debate. And, well, we're looking forward to it. That is, of course, presuming the Speaker of the House will accept the private member's motion, but I see no reason why he would not. The Speaker of the House, of course, himself, a former MP who was no stranger to bringing controversial motions to the House. So I suspect he will support opposition MP Chris Saunders in his endeavors. That should be very interesting. Also, we talked yesterday about what has been described as the plundering of the public purse by the ongoing HSA Board of Directors, the stipends being paid, sums of up to $250,000 going to board members, some board members arguably earning as much as $12,000 per month, which undoubtedly has lent itself, in part anyway, to the phenomenal increase in the cost of healthcare here in the Cayman Islands. Over the last year, we've seen the cost of healthcare rise by an incredible 70%. And this is just one of the ways and examples why those costs are going nowhere except up. The issue, though, and the controversy of the HSA Board of Directors, the member hinted, whilst I questioned where they were on this whole subject, eerily silent was what the words I used. He suggested that the Anti-Corruption Commission moves differently, in his own words, quiet, silently, and effective. So he encouraged me, and therefore you, the listening audience, to watch this space, in his direct words, suggesting that we may see a investigation into the HSA board and their remuneration stipends being conducted and carried out by the Anti-Corruption Commission. So if I was on the board of directors of the HSA, I wouldn't be taking any vacations anytime soon because, well, some folks might come looking for you. So That was a really incredible program. If you missed any part of it, we want to encourage you to log on to our website, www.straighttalk.ky, where you can download our full archive. So if you miss any one of our shows, whether it was yesterday or any ones prior to that, you can go back and listen to them to your heart's content. I'm hearing something ringing. Yeah, something off in the distance ringing. Need to put that on silent. Another phone. That's the other thing. This whole week, phones have just been ringing almost nonstop. And it's just, like I said, it's just been a long, long week. Felt like a month worth of a week, of a week packed into 5 days. And I really am looking forward to the weekend, which kicks off for me, again, in almost an hour and a half. And I can't wait. But let's focus a bit on some of the good news, as we usually do, starting with your weather. Earlier on, Ellio and I were together, again, doing some work on our online infrastructure, and we happened to get, I'll take credit for this, I actually got him talking and interested about talking about the weather. He oftentimes says and teases me, who talks about the weather at such great length? What is the excitement about the weather? I just don't get it. But today we got him talking about the weather. In particular, last night we had thunderstorms or thunder showers, I think the words were, in the weather forecast. And, you know, I approach those forecasts with a degree of trepidation, because every time I say it, nothing happens. And that has led to, of course, our changing of a song to 1 out of 5 ain't bad. But after tonight, we have to say, or after last night, rather, we might have to change that song to 2 out of 5 ain't bad. Last night, the weather forecast held true, and we did get some rather significant lightning and thunder storms last night. It rained for a little while, at least in Georgetown for me. I don't know if it rained in any of your neighborhoods. The rain didn't last long, but really the thunder, the claps of thunder, and of course the light shows put on by the lightning was rather significant. And I just say that to, again, congratulate the National Weather Service for actually getting last night's forecast absolutely accurate. And of course, their forecast for today so far has been the same. Generally hot and dry conditions were forecast pretty much all day today as the tropical wave advects drier air across the Western Caribbean. Some isolated showers are possible in the early morning hours of tomorrow, and some showers blow off from Cuba before gradually drying off later in the day. And on Monday, there's also another slight chance of scattered thunderstorms as a active trough is likely to move across the Western Caribbean, bringing with it moisture from the equatorial regions. So, again, we want to focus on the weather. Let's see. Yes, Ellio. See, he can't help but leave me alone. Obviously, he's just tuned in. He's reminding me to remind you that we will be having Tortuga as our guest at 5 o'clock, and they will be bringing with them a rum cake that we will be giving away, which, again, I mentioned this to you as the moment I turned on the microphone. So, yes, Ellio, not here in body, but here in spirit. And that's the second opportunity to remind you of our 5 o'clock guest. Tortuga will be our guest in studios. We're going to learn a little bit about the company. We're going to learn about its global growth whilst maintaining its Caymanian heritage. And yes, for the third time, we will be giving away a Tortuga rum cake to one lucky winner. So that conversation happens at, about 6 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock if we hold true to our current schedule. Staying, well, again, it's not really a good news category, but it is an informative category. Someone says it sounds like you've been smoking a few reefers, Austin. No. The government hasn't decided what they're doing with that cannabis law and the decision from the referendum. So, again, my voice still hasn't recovered 100%. And obviously, I have peaks and valleys. I have good days and I have bad days. And in particular, days like today and yesterday, where Ellio leaves me all by my lonesome, it only forces me to talk even more. So technically, if I sound like I'm going through puberty, we're going to blame all of that on Ellio. Why not? He's not here to defend himself, so that's what we're going to do. But back to Monday. So schools are back, and heavy morning traffic will follow. We talked about this yesterday, but they say to teach is to repeat. So for those motorists and listeners, particularly those living east of Tropical Gardens, on Monday, the 25th of August, classes will resume at St. Ignatius Catholic School, as well as the Grace Christian Academy Year 2 through Year 8 students. Also, Hope Academy will be opening through Year 9 to 12 on Tuesday. So Monday and Tuesday, again, likely to be heavy traffic days. Then on Wednesday, the Calvary Baptist Christian Academy opens. And then on Thursday, this is the big doozy, all of the Cayman Islands government schools, as well as the First Baptist Christian School and Footsteps, will be open. So anticipate heavy traffic delays. Your reprieve in traffic, which many of us have been enjoying throughout the entire summer, will regrettably come to an abrupt end on Monday, the 25th of August. So for those of us who have grown comfortable with leaving maybe just a little later than usual, quick reminder, enjoy the weekend, soak up the extra sleep you need, but come Monday, you want to be on the road by no later than 7:15 if you live, I don't know, anywhere west of Spots Newlands Strait. And if you live even past that, then you're looking at 6:30 is when you want to be on the road to avoid some of the major traffic tie-ups. My heart goes out every single year to residents of the Eastern Districts, those who live in Boddentown, East End, and North Side. In particular, it goes out to the kids who have to wake up even more early to get ready for school. Thank God we've transitioned persons living east of what do they call it? What was it called? The Dixie Line. In this case, anyone living east of Spots Newlands Road, pretty much all your students go to Clifton Hunter High School there on Franks Isle Road. If you live to the west of it and you're attending the government high schools, then you're going to either Prospect Primary or, of course, the John Gray High School downtown. So that has helped a little bit by placing students based on their geographic location, but nonetheless, it hasn't done anything to improve traffic. The government, maybe they'll bring a transportation plan as part of their future plans going forward. Maybe they'll bring staggered school times, which would have a dramatic impact on the morning traffic. We don't know, but what we do know is that on Monday, traffic will return, and by Tuesday, Wednesday, it will return with a vengeance. Cayman's tertiary schools, that's the colleges and universities, will begin on September 1st and 2nd with the University College of the Cayman Islands on the 1st and St. Matthew's School of Medicine and the St. Matthew's School of Veterinary Medicine opening up on the 2nd of September. Finally, towards the middle to end of September, the International College of the Cayman Islands will resume classes for their fall quarter on the 22nd of September. So that's a quick look at the traffic that is expected to begin as a result of the opening of schools starting on Monday with St. Ignatius, Grace Academy, and Hope Academy, and just getting worse every single day after that. So motorists will definitely want to wake up early and be on the road early. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in traffic. And again, who likes road rage? Certainly not me. Continuing on with the good news, we've got 2 learning events to help young Caymanians enter the workforce effectively. We see here, published in today's Cayman Compass, that 2 upcoming events are designed to help young Caymanians to first secure employment, and then to thrive in the workforce. I'll read a few lines and share some of this. Otherwise, good news on a Friday. The first takes place on Thursday, the 23rd of August. That's next week from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Intergenerational Hub located on McClendon Drive in Georgetown. This workshop will focus on writing cover letters and resumes for prospective employment, teaching young persons, obviously, how to make those cover letters, how to write them correctly, and, of course, make yourselves attractive to potential job vacancies and employers. The workshop is designed to support Caymanian job seekers, high school graduates, individuals who might be re-entering the workforce, and those looking to make a career change. It is open to Caymanians and those holding a residency and employment rights certificate. That's RARC. The event will be hosted by Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2023 and the iPow Creations founder, Leanne Powery. The workshop will include also a Q&A discussion panel, networking opportunities, and guidance on effective career management. Then on September 24th, the Department of Labor and Pensions will offer a free half-day training seminar from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. that will give participants a clear understanding of the Labor Act 2021 revision. Now, again, this is wonderful for young persons, but arguably persons of all ages, and I would imagine HR professionals, employers who may be HR administrators. It certainly can't hurt to get a bit of a refresher on the Labor Act 2021 revision. This seminar will also take place at the Intergenerational Hub on McClendon Drive. It is designed for young Caymanians who are new to the workforce or are preparing to enter it. The seminar will cover topics such as employee rights, employer responsibilities, entitlements under the law, workplace procedures, and best practices, which is why I say it's not just a young person's event, but really anyone in the workforce, whether you are an employee or if you are an employer. To register for this event, you can log on to the Department of Labor and Pensions page found at www.gov.ky. That is the webpage for the government of the Cayman Islands. 56 minutes now past the hour of 4 o'clock as the clock ticks down ever further, giving us about 4 minutes before we have to pause and check in with the top of the hour news brought to you by the BBC. But again, reminding you, coming up at 5 o'clock, we will be joined by Tortuga and our guest in studios, Miss Natalie Porter. For those of you following us online, you will know that our guest is in fact here. So she stuck her head through our glass door saying, hi. And if you are watching us on your webcam, you may have saw that earlier on. So that conversation coming up when we return. I think this one is also in the good news category because it seeks to address arguably a bit of a controversial issue that has been allowed to linger in the public domain. The Miss Universe Cayman Islands pageant is currently under scrutiny after an anonymous concerned citizen called on the government and the Human Rights Commission to launch an independent investigation into the competition, prompting Tourism Minister, the Honorable Gary Ruddy, who's also the Honorable Deputy Premier, to commit to a review with organizers. On the 14th of August, an anonymous email from a Caymanian concerned citizen was sent to Minister Gary Ruddy and other government officers, media houses, as well as the Human Rights Commission. The letter cited long-standing issues with the Miss Universe Cayman Islands pageant, alleging bribery, bad behavior, and young ladies being treated in ways that are not fair, and called for an independent investigation, safeguards for contestants to speak openly, and public disclosures of the findings. Minister Ruddy formally acknowledged the complaint on the 15th of August and has since confirmed that the ministry would meet with the Miss Universe Cayman Committee, stressing, and I quote, that our Miss Universe Cayman Islands contestants are of the utmost importance. And certainly he would say that because he's the father of one of the big winners. So is it a conflict of interest, or is it really within his remit of tourism minister? You be the judge. The controversy, again, follows a wide public debate about contestants raging plus-size shaming, colorism, and favoritism. The committee, however, has strongly rejected these allegations and have maintained that contestants have been treated equally and that independent adjudicators applied strict criteria to ensure fairness. So we don't know quite who's is right on this, but the Honorable Minister of Tourism will act as arbitrator and try to get to the bottom of it, and that is why we've put it in our good news category. We have to pause now, take a short commercial break, check in with the top of the hour news, but when we come back, we will be joined by Miss Natalie Porter and Tortuga here on Bobo FM.
Bobo.
How can we understand the world better?
The BBC World Service is a window onto the wider world.
The vantage point from which to survey a new horizon.
News, reports, and analysis from around the world.
Stories we think matter.
Different people from different societies.
We get to the heart of global issues.
News, stories, and global perspectives from the BBC World Service.
The home of the BBC World Service. This is Bobo FM.
Welcome to our newsroom here in central London. We place ourselves here at a little desk right in the thick of things.
OS from the BBC.
We can catch the very latest news from our colleagues, not just in this enormous room, but also from our colleagues around the world.
I'm in the room where they're treating children.
This is a combat zone.
The situation after the typhoon is very complicated.
It was a very tense situation.
OS from the BBC.
The home of the BBC World Service. This is Bobo FM.
BBC News.
BBC News.
World news from the BBC. Violent clashes.
Thick black smoke.
A tremendous legal victory.
Crucial elections.
Destructive winds.
A search and recovery operation.
A race against time.
An imminent threat.
Flying a drone over a rival team's training session.
Whatever is happening, wherever it's happening, catch up with the latest news bulletins from the BBC.
The home of the BBC World Service. This is Bobo FM. This is Bobo 103.1, powered by Health Services Authority.
At Health Services Authority, they are committed to caring for you. They are Cayman's largest and longest-standing healthcare provider, offering the most comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and public health services at 9 different locations across all 3 islands.
Across Cayman on 103.1 FM, online, and on your smart speaker. The home of the BBC World Service. This is Bobo 103.1.
Hello, I'm Eileen McHugh with the BBC News. Aid agencies say Palestinians in Gaza City, where famine has been declared, are too exhausted to flee Israel's promised widened offensive. UNICEF said civilians did not have the capacity to move, despite being told to flee southwards. The UN-backed famine report said 500,000 Palestinians in Gaza City were now starving. Its findings have been dismissed by Israel as an outright lie. Kelly Razouk is from the International Rescue Committee.
We were devastated to see the findings today, but this is something that the International Rescue Committee has been talking about for the past several months. We've seen on the ground a surge in malnutrition. We've heard from our own staff on the ground that they can't find food to feed their families. A family of 5 is having to share a piece of bread, is something that one staff member told us.
President Trump says Chicago will be the next city targeted in his crime clampdown. He's already sent National Guard troops into 2 Democrat-controlled cities. Olivia Noon reports.
Speaking from the Oval Office wearing a red hat emblazoned with the slogan, "Trump was right about everything," the US president took aim at Chicago. He described the city as a mess, calling its mayor grossly incompetent and adding that it wouldn't be tough to straighten it out. Earlier this month, 2,000 National Guard were deployed to Washington, D.C., despite figures showing crime there was at a 30-year low. The president said troops there were doing an incredible job. In a separate development, a U.S. defense official has said the soldiers will soon carry military weapons.
The U.S. Justice Department has released transcripts of interviews conducted last month with Ghislaine Maxwell, the jailed associate of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In them, Maxwell, who's serving 20 years for sex trafficking, said she was not aware of any client list kept by Epstein. His friendships with wealthy individuals, including Donald Trump, have fueled conspiracy theories. Our North America editor Sarah Smith says the president will be pleased by the testimony.
Ghislaine Maxwell said although she did used to see Mr. Trump socially, she never saw him receiving a massage from any of the young women around Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, she never saw him in any inappropriate situation whatsoever. And in the transcripts, we see the Deputy Attorney General making it clear that he is not promising Ghislaine Maxwell anything in return for this testimony. And yet, less than a week after she sat down for this interview, she was transferred to a minimum security federal prison camp that was considerably more pleasant than the jail she had been in up until then.
The US Vice President J.D. Vance says the former National Security Advisor John Bolton is being investigated over classified documents after his home was raided by the FBI. Mr. Vance denied Mr. Bolton was being targeted for his criticism of Donald Trump. BBC News. Kilmar Abrigo Garcia, the man wrongly deported by the Trump administration to a notorious prison in El Salvador, is on his way home to Maryland. Mr. Abrigo Garcia has been held in a jail in Tennessee after a judge ordered the government to secure his return to the U.S. Officials had admitted his deportation was a case of administrative error, but had refused to bring him back. US police say several people have been killed after a tour bus with dozens of passengers on board crashed in the state of New York. A child is among the dead. The bus was returning from a visit to Niagara Falls, a major tourist destination. Witnesses reported seeing the vehicle lose control before overturning. James O'Callaghan is from New York State Police.
For unknown reasons, the vehicle lost control, went into the median, overcorrected, and ended up in the ditch. At this time, we have multiple fatalities, multiple entrapments, and multiple injuries. It did roll. Most people, I'm assuming on the bus, did not have a seatbelt on. That is the reason why we have so many ejected people on this bus. The bus is extremely damaged.
The UK has agreed to pay compensation to almost 8,000 people affected by a fire caused by a British military training exercise in Kenya 4 years ago. The out-of-court settlement follows a lengthy legal battle. The Kenyan claimants say they lost property and suffered health complications. A lawyer for the victims told the BBC the total payout would be about $4 million. The Women's Rugby World Cup has begun with the hosts England thrashing the United States in the opening game. England, who are the clear favourites to lift the trophy, won by 69 points to 7. They haven't been beaten for nearly 3 years. With record ticket sales, the tournament is being seen as a milestone for women's rugby. Next month's final in London will take place in front of more than 80,000 people. That's the latest from BBC News.
Expressed on Straight Talk with Austin and Ellio do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of Stingray Media, its staff, or contributors. Callers to the program accept full responsibility for the views expressed. The show host and affiliates are not liable for any statements made or any harm claimed. All callers to the program indemnify Straight Talk from all claims. Offensive, defamatory, or unlawful content will not be tolerated. Be a part of the conversation by calling 745-2626. Here's Straight Talk with Austin and Ellio on Bobo 103.1.
And welcome back, man, to more Straight Talk here on your favorite Bobo 103.1 FM and simulcasting live over YouTube and Facebook under the key search words Straight Talk Radio Show. I'm your host, Austin Harris. My colleague Ellio Solomon is on leave, but he is not on vacation. I have to stress that point as many times as possible, more so for his benefit than yours. He is working behind the scenes to build some new online infrastructure so that we can bring to you even better, more informative, and of course, listener-friendly content here on the program. Just want to send a big shout out to my colleague who I know does in fact have his ears on. It is 7 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock, and whilst my colleague isn't here to keep me company, it is my pleasure to welcome our guest of the evening, representing Tortuga, Miss Natalie Porter, the Marketing and Communications Manager for the company. Miss Natalie, good evening and welcome to Straight Talk.
Hi, Austin. Thank you for having me on today. I didn't realize that I was going to be co-hosting with you, but this is exciting.
Are the co-host
Stepping into Ellio's seat.
You certainly do, and I must say, I think I like the view better than Ellio. No offense, buddy. I still got love for you, but
it's all right.
Natalie
we'll keep the other
seat
seat
have
warm.
fun. That's right. That's right. Well, Natalie, welcome to the program. I think today we look forward to getting, I guess, a bit of an education, really, on Tortuga, its humble beginnings. I understand the company is growing by leaps and bounds globally, regionally, while still maintaining your Cayman heritage and, you know, the things that make the company strong. So we look forward to learning about that together. And also to the listening audience, Miss Natalie will also be giving away a free Tortuga rum cake. You know those things that are in high demand? Visitors from across the world, whether you're on a cruise ship or you took a plane here, they all came in town for that Tortuga rum cake. Today we're giving one away to the lucky listener who can call in and tell us, is it the year or the specific date in which Tortuga first opened its doors here in the Cayman Islands?
How about you tell me the year, and we'll give you a Cayman Islands rum cake baked here in our bakery. If you can tell me the exact date, I might throw in a little bottle of rum with that too.
Oh, look at that. There's some incentive. So a year, you'll get the cake. If you remember the date and the year, you get a bottle of Tortuga rum to wash it all down. I tell you what, there's motivation. So the phone lines are open, 745-2626. If at any time throughout the course of our conversation, you think you'd like to take a stab at our trivia question of the evening, what year did Tortuga first open its doors here in the Cayman Islands? And likewise, if you want to go for the grand prize of a bottle of rum to match that, then if you get the day and the year, the date and the year, which I guess is a month, right?
Well, if you know the exact date, that's
even better. If
that's
you
the
go
real
if
one.
you go with the exact date.
The day the company was founded.
The day the company was founded, you know, month and date and year will get you a bottle of rum to go with that lovely Tortuga cake. And, well, 745-2626 is the number. And at any point that callers call in, certainly we will stop and recognize those calls. But in the meantime, Miss Natalie, talk to us about the Tortuga story itself, starting, I guess, with its humble beginnings.
Yeah, well, without giving away too much of the answer to the question, Tortuga has been around for a long time. We, not so long ago, celebrated our 40th anniversary. And it's just such a fantastic story of entrepreneurship, absolutely humble beginnings. Story began with two of Cayman Airways' most seasoned employees. Right in the beginning, Captain Robert Hamerty and his wife Carlene met while working for Cayman Airways. Saw that these rums that passengers were picking up from other Caribbean destinations and thought, why can't the Cayman Islands have its own private label rum? So they established Tortuga. It started with the rum. A couple of years later...
That's how all good stories start.
Yeah.
It started with a bottle of rum, and then we really took off.
And then they were onto a great idea. So Tortuga became a licensed wholesale distributor in 1987 and opened up the first Tortuga duty-free liquor store, which was downtown in Georgetown. So kind of along this process, family and friends who had tasted Miss Carlene's family recipe for rum cakes really encouraged her to start to market that, to take that 4 generations old family recipe, baking that Tortuga rum, and start to share those delicious treats with the world. And it actually didn't take too long to take off. That was 1987. And by 1990, Tortuga rum cakes were actually being shipped to other countries, with the first franchise being established in Jamaica.
And all using that original recipe that started it all?
Yep, the still secret recipe handed down through generations of Miss Carlene's family.
Fabulous, fabulous. And is this when you started, I guess, selling it broadly? Obviously, they came in different sizes. but there is now, I guess, the standard almost mini box size cake, isn't it? Is that what is the largest seller or the biggest high demand product of the Tortuga rum cakes?
So 3 different sizes we have at the moment. There's our 4 ounce. Probably our top seller though is the 4 ounce, which is a smaller cake, but in the 6-pack format. So especially when you're heading to the airport, you're going overseas, you've got different visitors, you need to take different gifts to.
Sure.
It becomes almost a tradition to pick up one of those 6-packs. Some of them are a 6 of Golden Original, and some are a variety of flavors. So you've got coconut, key lime, banana, chocolate. So many variations.
Yum.
And as Tortuga rum cakes have expanded globally, different regional flavors come with each one of those countries. So in Florida, you'll see key lime or Florida orange. In Mexico, there's a Mexican vanilla. In Jamaica, there's a Blue Mountain coffee flavor. So it's really, helped the world embrace Tortuga, and Tortuga earn its place in those countries too.
How many different global locations is Tortuga set up and incorporated, and of course sharing its delicious goodness?
Well, we ship worldwide, so that's from different distribution centers between Cayman Islands, Miami, and Jamaica. So countless countries across the world. I know certainly in the UK.
Away that you have shipped a rum cake to?
The furthest I've heard, I think, maybe was Singapore.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so certainly almost the opposite end of the world.
That is definitely a trek. And again, they too have figured out that those delicious Tortuga rum cakes, whether you buy one or why bother, buy 6, and you get to enjoy them with yourself and friends. So from one store to, I guess, obviously global presence, whilst distributing globally, do you have store locations, physical store locations in other parts of the world?
So our business here locally with Tortuga Rum Company is just here in the Cayman Islands. The Tortuga International franchise does have stores in other parts of the world too, mainly across the Caribbean.
Okay, all right. And I think if memory serves correct, in the Cayman Islands, there are quite a number of retail outlets. I don't want to put a number on it.
Yeah.
For fear of getting it wrong, but maybe you can.
But we have 15 locations with what we call up to about 17 or 18 stores, because at our North Sound Road location, which is our main head office alone, we have a liquor store, a snack shop, our Rolling Stove, which is our drive-through snack shop. We have our gift shop. We have our visitor center and duty-free store. So what we call one location there is actually multiple stores as well. So we are stretching now from West Bay to Savannah. We just opened our new store last week, Country Corner in Savannah. Right. So we're really excited to expand towards the Eastern Districts, serve the Savannah community, and see old and new faces coming through our doors.
Sure.
So we've got a big grand opening event coming up next weekend. So next Friday, around this time, actually.
Okay.
3 until 7. If you're in traffic this time, next Friday, swing by Tortuga at Country Corner Savannah. We'll have some free samples, giveaways, wine tasting, and we will have 15% off store-wide for the whole weekend. That is next weekend, 29th to 31st of August.
And would this be the first store, if you will, in the, it's in the eastern-ish district, but the first store that comes out of Georgetown and giving folks in Savannah, Bordentown, and even further away an opportunity to be a part of the deliciousness that comes from Tortuga?
Yes, it is actually the furthest that we go into the eastern districts at the moment. We're always looking for expansion, but previously our furthest store that way was Shamrock Road and Prospect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are some of the opening hours and days? Is it a 5-day-a-week thing, a 6-day-a-week thing?
We're a 7-day-a-week business.
Wow.
Yep. So open for your convenience. Most of our stores are open 7 days a week, generally Monday to Saturday. That's 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. And the stores are open on Sundays, open 1 until 7. So it's never too late to stop by. We try and be as convenient as we can be for the communities that we serve.
All right. Well, again, you heard it first here on Straight Talk. You don't want to miss the grand opening of the latest brand new store of Tortuga, which will be opened at the Country Corner in Savannah. Undoubtedly, there will be a lot of great giveaways, great discounts. You walk in, you get that new store smell, which, of course, hopefully will smell everything like the various flavors coming from that lovely rum cake. And again, it'll be the first store in the eastern districts, making it even easier for customers in Savannah and beyond to shop and enjoy some of the fantastic products being offered by Tortuga.
We're really excited to be out there, whether you're looking to pick up a nice bottle of wine, some beer for the weekend, a rum cake for a family gathering or a gift, or, swing by in the morning for a tasty patty fresh from the oven. Something for everyone.
Something for everyone as well. Patties. It's just the taste of childhood, and it's nice to know that you're still continuing in those lines as well of patties.
Yeah, I mean, just like Tortuga rum cakes, right? The tasty patties are a product that everybody loves. They are tasty patties, Jamaica's favorite, the original patty. Locally, a lot of people just call them Tortuga patties.
Really?
Because we have been serving them since the 80s.
Wow.
It's been so long that tasty patties have become synonymous with Tortuga, and we serve millions of them every year.
Well, when you got a winning recipe, why change it? Keep it the original, and people will keep coming back. So millions and millions of patties sold. I wonder how many Tortuga rum cakes have you managed to sell and distribute over the course of your existence? Do you have a number that you can share with
I don't have an up-to-date number, but I know it's certainly in the millions by now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Millions of Tortuga rum cakes. So, again, some useful trivia if you're ever asked, who is Tortuga and what are some of its products. Again, delicious, tasty patties. We have, of course, the award-winning and globally recognized Tortuga rum cake, which comes in a variety of flavors, from original to, again, chocolate to coconut to, what else did you mention there? Did you say key lime?
Key lime, Florida orange.
Yeah, beat it.
Yep, banana.
All right. And again, speaking of trivia, we are giving away one of those tasty Tortuga rum cakes to one lucky winner. If you can call up and tell us the year that Tortuga first opened its doors here in the Cayman Islands. If you remember the exact month and day, as well as the year, we'll throw in a bottle of rum, the delicious Tortuga rum, to help wash that cake down as well. A little bit of a guilty pleasure all around, but pick up the phone, give us a call, 745-2626. Looks like we have a caller on the line now. You want to put on your headset? Good evening, caller. You're on the air.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. You want to take a guess at when Tortuga first opened its doors?
I would say 1984.
That is a correct guess on the year. Do you want to take a stab at the exact date?
October.
Close. Not quite.
Close, but not quite. But that's all right. You have been the lucky winner of a delicious Tortuga rum cake. I want to encourage you. Normally, I'd have my colleague basically pick up the phone and take your name and details on air. But since I'm by myself today, I'm going to encourage you to send me a quick WhatsApp text message to 928-2562. Give me your name and your telephone number, and someone will reach out to you and make sure you get your hands on a delicious Tortuga rum cake as your prize. Just curious, do you have a preference on flavor?
The original.
Original. You can't go wrong with the original. Fantastic. I like you already. So, 928-2562 is the WhatsApp number. Send me a quick WhatsApp message with your name and number, and we will reach back out with you to make sure you get your hands on that delicious rum cake. All right?
Love the station and love their alcohol.
All right. Thank you so much. And we do appreciate you calling. And congratulations to that one lucky winner. They get to enjoy, again, a delicious Tortuga rum cake for guessing the year. 1984 was the year in which Tortuga opened its doors and launched here in the Cayman Islands. And since the prize is gone and the winner has been declared, do you want to give the precise date?
I will. So the exact date was the 4th of December, 1984. Wow. That's the day the company was founded. And it's really come on in stride since then. It started with a rum, and one of the most recent parts of our story is a rum as well. So it started with the Cayman Islands' first private label rum, but it was a long-held dream of Mr. Hamaty's to actually establish his own distilleries and distill Tortuga's own rum right here in Grand Cayman. So he achieved that dream in 2018 when 2 distilleries were established, one at 7 Mile Shops, one up in West Bay opposite the Turtle Center, and started producing Cayman's first, Tortuga's first Cayman-made rum. We produce a gold and a silver rum, and some of those are in souvenir bottles.
Okay.
So those were established in 2018. Unfortunately, had to close during COVID, and we didn't quite get operations back up and running until earlier this year. So we're really proud to have those up and running again. Everybody is welcome from the community to stop by any one of those 2 stores. So that's Tortuga at 7 Mile Shops or Tortuga up in West Bay opposite the Turtle Center. And you can experience a free tour, go and meet our distiller, have a little lesson in how the rum's made, and then come and have a tasting.
Indeed.
So everybody has the chance to give those a try. Fantastic rums. And then this year we've partnered with the Fairweather Foundation. So the Fairweather Foundation are doing some fantastic work to restore the Fairweather, one of the last remaining Caymanian-built schooner. So the boat is currently in Gloucester in the UK, Gloucester Docks being restored. The project's been happening over several years. It's taken a couple of $1 million worth, if not more by now, of investment to really get her back to good condition.
Yes.
And the goal is to bring the Fairweather back to the Cayman Islands, to be docked in Georgetown, to be used for education and cultural celebrations like Pirates Week.
And undoubtedly flying the Tortuga flag.
Yeah, so it's been a huge financial effort, and we wanted to do our part to support. So one of the formats that we have our locally made rum in is the ship bottle with a, kind of a schooner-shaped bottle. So we decided to partner with the Fairweather Foundation so that every one of those bottles that we sell, a portion of proceeds go towards the restoration of the Fairweather.
That's fabulous.
So an extra reason to pick up one of our rums as well. So it's the gold or silver in the ship-shaped bottle, and it's available at any Tortuga store.
Now, I think that's so interesting and so important, again, building on the dream and legacy of Captain Robert Hamaty and his wife.
Yeah.
Because since its inception from, again, early days in 1984, Tortuga as a company has always given back to the community, has always participated with a number of notable charities. Obviously, the Fairweather Foundation, just the latest in a long line of notable charities. But talk to us about its charitable side of the company.
Yeah, I mean, it was a passion of Mr. Hamaty's and the whole Hamaty family, really, to get behind the community and different causes. I mean, many people will know that Mr. H was a powerful advocate for the Cayman Heart Foundation, was part of the transplant legislation, was a heart transplant recipient himself. So that's really kind of woven into our story. So it's something that we've really continued that legacy and that partnership with. To the point that actually in September, we have an event coming up, which is a fundraiser for Cayman Heart Foundation, the Robert Hamaty Memorial 5K Walk Run.
Awesome.
So we encourage the public to come out. It's on Sunday, the 28th of September at Camana Bay, 6:30 in the morning, fairly easy, 5K, a couple of laps around Camana Bay, great fun for the family. All ages and fitness levels. You can even bring dogs.
Wonderful.
And
fun for the whole family.
Yep. Come out, help us raise funds for Cayman Heart Foundation to continue the fantastic work and programs they have in place.
Terrific. Well, again, just an example of some of the charities that the Tortuga Rum Company and Rum Cake Company have been a big part of, not just recently, but certainly since the early 80s. I think of some of the other athletic clubs, you were a big part of the Special Olympics.
Yes, and a couple of years ago, we did a program with the Special Olympics. This year alone, we've supported ARC, Meals on Wheels, Jasmine, and I'm sure many more. That's just off the top of my head, but it never ends. We're an integral part of the community. We want to remain that way, so we're always looking for opportunities to give back.
27 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock. We got a question coming from the listening audience. Good evening, Austin, and to your guest, Miss Natalie from Tortuga. Maybe Natalie can tell us a little bit about how Tortuga Rum Cakes have actually been a big advertiser for the Cayman Islands in general. We touched on that briefly earlier on, that people come from thousands of miles away just to get their hands on this world-famous Tortuga rum cake. But an opportunity to answer the listener's question, how is that lent to helping build the Cayman Islands name tourism-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such an exciting part of our story. And again, it's something that's almost interwoven in our culture and heritage these days as we share the Cayman Islands with the rest of the world. So today, with bakeries and distribution centers in the US and in Jamaica, not every cake is exported from the Cayman Islands, but we certainly bake thousands of cakes every week right here in Cayman. But there was a point where the Tortuga rum cakes were the Cayman Islands' biggest export.
Wow.
And that need grew beyond the capacity that we could bake and export from here. So, we built out those extra bakeries. But it's just kind of become synonymous with, when you think about, what are the national sweet treats of the Cayman Islands, or, people hear about Tortuga rum cakes before they hear Cayman and learn more about it. It's just a piece of Cayman, a slice of Cayman that we share with the world.
Absolutely. And I thank you for reminding us that, again, it was Cayman's first export. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that from its humble beginnings to where we are today. The phone lines are open, 745-2626. If you've got a question for Tortuga, please don't be shy. Pick up the phone, give us a call. We're going to pause, take a short commercial break. But we'll have more from Tortuga next here on Bobo 103.1.
More Straight Talk with Austin and Ellio coming up. Be a part of the conversation by calling 745-2626. Bobo 103.1.
When it comes to cooking for my family, I turn to Kirk Market for all our nutritional needs. Whether whipping up a quick stir fry with lean CAB choice beef or preparing a healthy weekend dinner with fresh local snapper, Kirk Market always has exactly what I need. At Kirk Market, I find premium proteins that keep my family healthy, energetic, and always coming back for seconds. Visit Kirk Market today. Bring home the quality and freshness your family deserves. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and experience a world of choice.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
Shirts, pants, or linens. When you want them clean, just drop them off at Island Cleaners. Island Cleaners is a full-service dry cleaner, meaning you name it, they clean it. Professional shirt service, fluff and fold laundry, and more. Even drape and area rug cleaning and alterations, from quick hem jobs to resizing dresses. Island Cleaners, your one stop for everything clean. Artco Drive off Shedden Road. Ask about VIP and prepaid discounts.
Have your engine driving like never before with Pure 93, the highest pure octane fuel in Cayman and available exclusively at Rubis service stations. Pure 93 protects against engine knock, restores lost power and acceleration, cleans fuel injectors, intake valves, removes engine deposits, improves your fuel economy, and it meets international specification requirements for your car. Fill up with Pure 93 now and keep your engine running like new. Fuel the difference with Pure 93, available exclusively at Rubis.
At Priced Right, spending less on everyday products is easy.
Spend less on office supplies, tools, and automotive products.
Spend less on groceries, fresh produce, and meat.
Spend less on electronics, TVs, and speakers.
Spend less on home furnishings, beauty products, and apparel.
At Priced Right, we believe you can live better for less.
To start saving, visit us at the Airport Center in Georgetown or at Republic's Plaza in West Bay.
For more info, visit pricedright.ky. Live better for less at Priced Right.
At Polar Bear Air Conditioning, we believe in helping you to avoid costly mistakes and replacements. That's why we offer a quarterly maintenance program at a discounted price. You'll receive a 10% discount on all repairs, accessories, and services. Priority front-of-the-line customer status, reminders of your service, and no overtime rate for after-hours calls. Why not save money and avoid hassle with Polar Bear Air Conditioning? Need service now? Book our AC special for just $99. Book the next available technician at polarbear.ky. That's polarbear.ky.
103.1. Powered by Health Services Authority. Committed to caring for you. The views and opinions expressed on Straight Talk with Austin and Ellio do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of Stingray Media, its staff, or contributors. Callers to the program accept full responsibility for the views expressed. The show host and affiliates are not liable for any statements made or any harm claimed. All callers to the program indemnify Straight Talk from all claims. Offensive, defamatory, or unlawful content will not be tolerated. Be a part of the conversation by calling 745-2626. Now, here's Straight Talk with Austin and Ellio on Bobo 103.1.
And welcome back, K-Man, to more Straight Talk here on Bobo 103.1 FM and simulcasting live over YouTube and Facebook under the key search word Straight Talk Radio Show. I'm your host, Austin Harris. My colleague, Ellio Solomon, is on leave. No, he's not on vacation. He is working behind the scenes to improve specifically our online infrastructure so that we can deliver more effective communication on the issues that truly matter to you, to our valuable listeners. And we look forward to unveiling those new plans very soon. But instead, we are unveiling some of the fantastic and exciting plans coming online by our guest in studios this evening, Miss Natalie Porter, the Manager of Marketing and Communications for Tortuga. Both in terms of the rum cakes, both in terms of their liquid libations. We talk about, of course, the opening of their brand new store in the last segment. They're expanding into the Eastern District's Country Corner in Savannah, which will be, when will that grand opening take place, Miss Natalie?
So the store is actually open now, but we're having a grand opening celebration event next Friday from 3 until 7. Wonderful. So we'll have spin the wheel, giveaways, tastings. Come and try a rum cake, a tasty patty, one of our fantastic wines, some cocktails, plenty on offer.
Outstanding. So again, you get that new store smell, which of course will be the delicious smell of those yummy Tortuga rum cakes, but also get to take advantage of a number of great sales, giveaways, and an opportunity to meet some of the fantastic people behind the brand of Tortuga, now opening its latest store in the Country Corner in Savannah, which really caters to residents of the Eastern District, getting a little closer to you, but maybe you can come up, and maybe if you live in East End or North Side, you can come and encourage the store owners and managers to maybe think about opening a store in your neck of the woods. Who knows? They may just do it. 745-2626 is the number. If you want to call up, you got a question for our guest, everything you wanted to know about Tortuga, but were afraid to ask, you're not going to get many opportunities like the one we have here today, learning a little bit about Tortuga's history, the valuable products it continues to provide. These are beloved Cayman Islands, but also sharing that goodness and arguably Caymankind with the world. Prior to the break, we talked also, we got a phone call on the line. I encourage you to put on your headset, and let's take that call now. Good evening, caller. You're on the air.
Good evening, Austin.
Hey, how are you? Got a question for Tortuga?
Pardon?
You have a question for Tortuga?
No, I'm just calling to make a correction. Okay. I heard you said earlier that Tortuga was the first export from Cayman. That's not correct.
Oh, really?
No.
What was the first export?
Long before Tortuga was even envisaged, we exported thatch rope, phosphorus, shark skin, mahogany, ironwood, and other different things.
Yes, quite right. Thank you for that history lesson. You are absolutely correct. Not the first export, but arguably the first commercial export in the modern day. But we thank that caller for the history lesson because he's absolutely correct. We did do other exports. Unfortunately, those industries never really continued, and you have to ask yourself and sometimes wonder why that was, but it is unfortunate. But going back to Tortuga, it was that same Tortuga rum cake that was a major, at the time, I think, 3,600 cakes was a major export for Tortuga. Tell us about that story.
So what you're talking about there is Tortuga's first export. And it did not take long for that to take off. So Tortuga started baking rum cakes commercially in 1987. And by 1988, the company exported its first cakes in their original tin packaging, if anybody remembers that.
I remember those.
And it was thought to be a large order at the time, and it was 3,600 cakes. And that order was shipped to the U.S., but every cake was baked by hand in Robert Hamerty's mother's kitchen.
Wow.
So I think I've seen a photo of this actually in our archives of Mr. Hamerty surrounded by cakes with his head down on the table, asleep, presumably while Miss Colleen was finishing up the baking.
Yeah, indeed. Again, which just makes it even more special, really, that you've got, again, the very humble beginnings of a small, at the time, small local store. And we look back some 40 years at how far and wide it has grown. But that same Tortuga cake that was first exported in a batch of 3,600 is now exported across the globe in the millions.
Over 1 million cakes a year. And, to give you an idea of how far and wide that's spread, we ship to over 70 countries and can be found on board nearly 100 cruise ships.
That's wonderful.
So cruise tourism has been quite a big part of Tortuga's story as well. And that has helped us take our products to people from all over the world while they're traveling all over the world.
I think that's a very valuable point. I thank you for sharing it. As a company, obviously doing very well for itself, providing the needs and demands of the local consumers, but also as a promoter of the Cayman Islands, its name and tourism product, Tortuga should be congratulated for its important work in that area as well. Now, we've been talking largely, Natalie, about the retail products of Tortuga, but there's an altogether different wholesale arm as well. Talk to us about that.
There is. So, the Tortuga rums and rum cakes were kind of the humble beginnings. The company initially grew on the retail side, but eventually added a wholesale division. So now we represent hundreds of global brands across wine, spirit, beer, multiple categories. We sell them both through our own stores and to the local trade through wholesale. So there's if you find a Stoli vodka, a Hendrick's gin, a Flor de Caña rum in any store or in any bar, that is sold by Tortuga as the official representative of those brands in the Cayman Islands. So part of our business today is really growing these brands and bringing them to the forefront. The latest addition to our brand range is actually Copperberg cider. Okay. And if you're on the road right now and you're looking for somewhere to go for happy hour, we actually have a happy hour at the office bar tonight with Copperberg. Free samples of the Copperberg cider flavors, apple, pear, and strawberry lime. They've been really popular. Nice, sweet, light, refreshing drink served over ice. Perfect for the Cayman heat. Fantastic ranges of wine as well. We have a great promotion on our retail stores at the moment if you're a wine fan or looking for pick up a bottle for the weekend. So with the Coppola and Noble Vines brands of wine that we represent, we are running a promotion where you can win wine for a year. So if you come into any of our Tortuga or discount liquor stores, pick up any bottle of the Coppola range of wines or the Noble Vines range of wines, you get one entry into the draw for every bottle that you buy.
Nice.
And there's not just one winner, because we're picking one winner every week.
Okay.
So 4 winners in total. Each one will win a bottle of wine per week for a year. We won't make you come in every week and collect them. We're just going to give you 52 bottles up front so you can be ready for your holiday celebrations. Always have a bottle ready when you need to go for a dinner or give a gift. So fantastic opportunity. If you're picking up a bottle anyway, choose one of these wines and you could be in it to win it.
So unlike your distillery, where obviously you're making various liquid libations, the wines, I'm taking it, aren't made locally, but maybe you can tell us what region they may be from for those wine connoisseurs.
We have wines from all over the world. So in this particular promotion, Coppola and Noble Vines are both from California. Okay. We have September coming up as California Wine Month. So we'll be having tastings in our Governor's Square store every Friday, 5 until 7. Tonight, we're actually tasting some of the Coppola and Noble Vines. We'll have some other California wines coming up. But we have wines from France, Italy, New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, Chile, all corners of the globe. And you will find all of those across our Tortuga Fine Wine and Spirits stores, as well as in bars and restaurants across the island.
Okay. And again, if you're a wine lover, you can also win wine for a year.
Wine for a year.
And Tortuga.
This is a great range of wines as well. So if you're not familiar with the Coppola range, this is actually a winery owned by Francis Ford Coppola, the filmmaker.
Okay.
So fantastic range of wines.
He brought us The Godfather, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I can hear the Godfather tune ringing in my ears, and you can't watch The Godfather unless you're drinking some red wine, of course. So
I know.
Why not put the two together?
Yep, my personal favorite from the range is actually a bottle called Director's Cut, which is the latest edition that we brought in last year. But there's a red blend, Cabernet Sauvignon, Sauvignon Blanc, and then there's a rosé called Sophia as well. So
wow.
Nice range of wines, something for everyone, reasonable price point. Yeah.
And
Proud
again,
user.
for those persons who are interested not only in trying Coppola or Noble Vines wines, but your promotion, how can they be a part of the Win Wine for a Year thing?
All you have to do is buy any one of the participating wines at any one of our participating stores. And those stores are both Tortuga Fine Wine and Spirits and Discount Liquors. So our Discount Liquor stores are Shamrock Road in Prospect and JD's in West Bay. You'll find Tortuga Wine and Spirits at Heritage Square, West Bay, along the West Bay Road, Governor's Square, Greenery, which is where the old J. Michael used to be, West Shore, 7 Mile Shops, in town, and our North Sound Road location as well. So plenty of chances across the island,
Over
as well as our
19
new
retail
store in
locations to choose
Savannah.
from. Yeah, indeed.
Yep.
As well as, yes, don't forget that their new store, Country Corner in Savannah, also a participating outlet, will help you. If you are a wine connoisseur, you could possibly win wine for a year, and who wouldn't want to win that one? How long does the promotion run from and to?
So we're still in the first week at the moment. It runs until September 14th.
Right.
And you still have 4 chances to win. One winner a week will be drawn. We collect in the receipts every Monday. So if you pick up a bottle this weekend and again next week, you'll be in both draws.
Wonderful. A winner will be drawn each week. Persons will have 4 chances to win. And again, if you're in the market for a new and exciting wine, well, why not? I recommend you try the Coppola or Noble Vines wines, brought to you exclusively by Tortuga Fine Wines and Spirits. Not only will you enjoy a great bottle of wine, maybe take in a movie, and also each purchase gives you an opportunity to be entered to win Wine for a Year, compliments of Tortuga Fine Wine and Spirits. And that might be a good lead up because I think you're also promoting, as we look a bit further in the calendar of 2025, even a wine fest, I thought I read somewhere.
It is, it is a wine time of year for us.
It's a wine time year.
Yep. So we are warming up for our Cayman Wine Fest, which will be held at the Westin on October 11th. And actually, I think this is around the 5th year now for Cayman Wine Fest, but it has grown beyond wines. It was a bit wordy to start calling it Cayman Wine and Spirits Fest, but you will find a range of wine, spirits, over 100 different ones to try at this event. It's an evening event. We bring in different suppliers from different wineries and spirit houses to showcase their products, let the attending public have a try of everything and pick their favorites. So if you don't even know what type of wine you like, this is the perfect one to go to. Give it a try, talk with our experts about what kind of flavor profiles you like.
Yes.
They might recommend something great that you can pick up in store next time you shop with us.
I suspect you'll have what they call sommeliers on hand.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that always intrigues me, because I'm a bit of a wine drinker, but traditionally it's always wine and my favorite red meat. But it is the never-ending list of delicious pairings with just the right wine. And I think this event, the Wine Fest in particular, will create a fantastic opportunity for folks thinking, hey, how do you make wine even better? Well, pair it with your favorite meal. Talk to us about that.
Yes. So we have food stations, canapes, and light bites as well, which we try and pair with the wines that will be represented on the night. So you'll be able to try firsthand which wine goes with which cheese, or whether it's a fruit or a dim sum bite or something like that. It makes all the difference. It's actually amazing once somebody educates you on the difference in flavor profile by putting those two things together and getting that pairing just right. It makes all the difference to getting the best out of both.
Well, definitely want to mark it in your calendar. Again, another event brought to you by Tortuga Fine Wine and Spirits. Mark it in your calendar. Cayman Wine Fest, expected to be held at the Westin on Saturday, the 11th of October. You get an opportunity to enjoy some of the great and fantastic wines made available to you by Tortuga Fine Wine and Spirits. It will be considered, it already is in my mind, I'm selling it this way, it is Cayman's premier wine event. You'll get, I guess, is this year's Wine Fest the first?
It's about the fifth now. It's grown every year.
Well,
again, from humble beginnings.
That
but
is
every
why
year
it
we
is
get
the
bigger.
premier event of the year. It happens every year and gets bigger and better. This year's event on the 11th of October at the Westin. How do persons get a hold of tickets to attend?
They can find tickets on eventpro.ky.
Excellent. All right. Well, log on today. Log on right now if you're not driving. Eventpro.ky for the Cayman Wine Fest taking place on Saturday, the 11th of October at the Westin. At 49 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock, giving us just over 11 minutes before we have to wrap it up. We've covered a lot of territory, Natalie. We've talked about the opening of your latest store in Savannah. We've talked about the 5K Memorial Run. We talked about the Wine Fest. We talked about Win-Free Wine for a year. But again, an opportunity to recap each of those significant subjects for the benefit of the listening audience, whether those persons are just tuning in or, as they say, to teach is to repeat. So let's start with the opening of your latest store in Savannah.
So our newest store opened in Country Corner in Savannah last Friday. So we've been open for a week now. A bit of a soft opening to welcome the community. But next weekend, we're having a grand opening celebration. So that will kick off next Friday from 3 until 7 with a special opening event. There'll be free tastings of our rums, rum cakes, tasty patties, our wines, spirits, cocktails. Come and try before you buy. Come and see what we have in store. Really, we're opening our doors to the community. We want to see faces old and new from Savannah, the Eastern Districts, and beyond. Come say hello. Check out our shiny new store. It looks great. It's got a fantastic range of products in it. It's right there next to Simboco, Chicken, Cafe del Sol.
Yes.
And that's just a fantastic area now for Savannah community and wider. So much you can do. Come pick up a bottle of wine, have some dinner, grab a coffee.
Winner.
So much convenience there. I actually love
very,
going
very
out there.
Indeed. And before we move on to the wines, I want to focus, because again, I keep forgetting to remind myself that Tortuga is more than just fine wine. They have spirits as well, but their spirits, their rum in particular, is made at their distillery. And we talked earlier about the promotion you're doing and partnership with the Fairweather Foundation. Talk to us again about that.
Yep. So this year we reopened our distilleries. So adding back to our visitor experience on the kind of tour and tasting side. So our tours and tastings are free. You can come to our distilleries at 7 Mile Shops or up in West Bay opposite the Turtle Center. Have a tour with our master distiller and learn about the rum making process, and then try the local rums that we're distilling here. And then if you pick up one of the Tortuga rum, the locally made rums, in the ship-shaped bottle, that bottle is a partnership with the Fairweather Foundation, and a portion of proceeds from each one sold supports the Fairweather Foundation in restoring the last remaining Caymanian-built schooner, which is being renovated in the UK, will come back to the Cayman Islands, and will be used as an education piece and a showpiece. I'm told that they're aiming for a Pirates Week launch.
Oh, that's excellent timing. Well, again, we want to encourage you to be a part of that fantastic partnership and initiative. And again, you can also take a bit of a tour. Check out Tortuga Distilleries which, as we discussed earlier, recently reopened in January of this year and is located at Tortuga 7 Mile Shops as well as in West Bay. You can stop by. You can get a free tour. You can see, of course, how your favorite rums are made right before your eyes. And, of course, who can go wrong with a little bit of rum tasting to go with your shopping? Oh, the weekends just keep getting better and better. But also in shopping and tasting and purchasing, you will support a partnership between Tortuga and the Fairweather Foundation on their signature ship bottle of rum, which, of course, portion of those proceeds will go to support the Fairweather Foundation in restoring the last Caymanian-built schooner. So rum equals fun. Now on to wine, and, of course, the reminder of the opportunity where folks can win wine for a year. Natalie.
If you pick up any bottle of Coppola or Noble Vines wines at Tortuga Fine Wine and Spirits or discount liquor stores, anytime between now and September 14th, for every bottle you buy, you will get an entry into the draw to win wine for a year. And we're not just giving away one package, we're giving away one package per week. Wow. This is week 1, so you can be in it to win it for the next 4 weeks. Nothing to stop someone winning twice, so keep on going.
I like them all.
So follow us on social media for our weekly winner announcements too.
Absolutely. And again, win wine for a year. Again, every time you purchase any bottle of Coppola from the director, Francis Ford Coppola, or Noble Vine Wines, and you'll be entered for a chance to win. The promotion began on the 18th of August and will run all the way until the 14th of September. There will be a drawing each and every week, so you have 4 chances to win. Every purchase counts as an entry, so the more you shop, the more chances you have to win wine for a year. You can't go wrong with that. And, of course, by shopping, you can also prepare yourself for Cayman's premier wine event of the annual calendar, Cayman Wine Fest. Tell us again about that, Natalie.
So Cayman Wine Fest is happening at the Westin on October 11th. We will have over 100 wine and spirits available for sampling. You get to try a taste of as much as you can handle. There will be some food to go with that to line your stomach. We'll be educating on those products. We'll have some cocktail ideation to show you how you can use different spirits. There'll be food. There'll be live entertainment. There'll be plenty of fun surprises on the night too.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, with all of that consumption of whether it be rum, whether it be the chance to win wine for a year or the opportunity to participate in the premier wine event of the annual calendar, you're going to want to do a little exercise. And that leads us, of course, to the Robert Hamilton Memorial 5K Walk and Run. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So this is a cause that we're really passionate about. You know, it's part of our legacy. And our founder, Mr. Robert Hamilton, was a passionate advocate for heart health too. So we're really continuing his legacy. So we established this walk run. This will be the 3rd annual one now. It's in support of Cayman Heart Foundation. It's happening on Sunday, the 28th of September at Camana Bay. Come on out. It's, family friendly. Everybody can get involved. You can register at Race Caribbean online. Also check out our social media channels for the link as well. We'll be sharing more information on there. But we're really grateful for this opportunity to, remember our founder, his legacy, and continue that by raising funds for Cayman Heart Foundation.
Absolutely. And speaking of their online presence, you can find Tortuga online at www.tortuga.ky. But you can also find them on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Tortuga Cayman. And certainly, again, as we've talked about, whether it be the first Cayman-made rums, and I say rums, plural, which you can check out at their distillery there on 7 Mile Beach, one of the 19 retail outlets that offer, amongst other things, tasty patties, as well as those delicious rum cakes, which have really put the Cayman Islands on the global map, now making over 1 million cakes a year that are found on nearly 100 cruise ships, and as Natalie mentioned, shipped to over 70 countries across the world, as far away as Singapore. Tortuga rum cakes are very clearly Cayman's #1 souvenir. Natalie, I want to thank you for being our guest. We got an opportunity for some final closing remarks with 1 minute remaining.
Thank you. Now, you said, Austin, people might not have opportunity to ask questions after today, so I wanted to throw out a couple of opportunities. You can always drop us a message on Facebook or Instagram at Tortuga Cayman. You can email info@trc-cayman.com, or you can stop by our North Sound location where we have a visitors center. You can come and see the cakes being baked through the window.
Yum.
Learn a bit more about the company, and I can promise you that Miss Bev, our tour host, can answer any question you would ever want to know about Tortuga. She's a fountain of knowledge as well.
All right.
She'll tell you everything apart from that secret rum cake recipe.
Sounds good. Well, from rum cakes to rum to wine, and if that's not good enough, then you can exercise it all away and participate in the Robbie Hamity Memorial 5K Walk and Run on the 28th of September. I want to say congratulations to our lucky winner, who won the trivia for the night and won herself a delicious Tortuga rum cake, which Miss Natalie will be reaching out over the weekend, tonight or tomorrow, and maybe even delivering it in person for that lucky winner. We want to thank you for being our guest. We want to congratulate Tortuga for over 40 years of fantastic business in the Cayman Islands and around the globe, and we want to thank you for choosing Straight Talk to share all of this fantastic news with our listeners. We certainly do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, and we must have you back in studios again. Keep it locked. There'll be more Straight Talk coming up next.
Bobo.
The BBC's From Our Own Correspondent.
In today's Russia, no one is allowed anywhere near the political stage if they pose a serious challenge to Vladimir Putin.
Stories and reflections from our reporters around the world.
There is a major sense of insecurity here. More people are coming in from Sudan every day.
From Our Own Correspondent from the BBC.
The home of the BBC World Service. This is Bobo FM.
How can we understand the world better?
The BBC World Service is a window onto the wider world.
A vantage point from which to survey a new horizon.
News, reports, and analysis from around the world.
Stories we think matter.
Different people from different societies.
We get to the heart of global issues.
News, stories, and global perspectives from the BBC World Service.
The home of the BBC World Service. This is Bobo FM.
Welcome to our newsroom here in central London. We place ourselves here at a little desk right in the thick of things.
OS from the BBC.
We can catch the very latest news from our colleagues, not just in this enormous room, but also from our colleagues around the world.
I'm in the room where they're treating children.
This is a combat zone.
The situation after the typhoon is very complicated.
It was a very tense situation.
OS from the BBC.
The home of the BBC World Service. This is Bobo FM. This is Bobo 103.1, powered by Health Services Authority.
At Health Services Authority, they are committed to caring for you. They are Cayman's largest and longest standing healthcare provider, offering the most comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and public health services at 9 different locations across all 3 islands.
Across Cayman on 103.1 FM, online, and on your smart speaker. The home of the BBC World Service. This is Bobo 103.1.
BBC News, hello, I'm Eileen McHugh. The US Justice Department has released transcripts of interviews conducted last month with Ghislaine Maxwell, the jailed associate of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In them, Maxwell, who's serving 20 years for sex trafficking, said she was not aware of any client list kept by Epstein. More details from David Willis.
Ghislaine Maxwell goes out of her way to praise Donald Trump, saying that although she came into contact with Mr. Trump, he was part of Jeffrey Epstein's orbit, he, Mr. Trump, never did anything inappropriate, adding that she admired what she called his extraordinary achievement in becoming president. And as well as maintaining her own innocence in these interviews, Ghislaine Maxwell implicates nobody else in what was thought to be the widespread trafficking of children which Jeffrey Epstein was engaged in.
The Pentagon has said soldiers patrolling Washington, D.C. will soon be armed, a week after stating they would not carry weapons. About 2,000 National Guard troops have been sent to the U.S. Capitol, whose local government is run by the opposition Democratic Party, in what President Trump has portrayed as a crackdown on crime. On Friday, Mr. Trump said he planned to implement the policy in two other major Democrat-controlled cities, New York and Chicago.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent, and we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this, and it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come.
U.S. police say 5 people have been killed after a tour bus with dozens of passengers on board crashed in the state of New York. The bus was returning from a visit to Niagara Falls, a major tourist destination. Witnesses reported seeing the vehicle lose control before overturning. Several people were trapped in the wreckage. Jennifer Pugh is a doctor at a hospital where many of the victims are being treated.
Many of the patients were bilingual, so they were able to provide some history in English. And then we also actually utilized all of our translation services through the entire hospital. So we had over 15 or 20 translation devices, actually more translation devices than patients arriving available.
Aid agencies say Palestinians facing famine in Gaza City are too exhausted to flee Israel's intensifying offensive. A spokeswoman for UNICEF said civilians did not have the capacity to move despite being told to flee south. A UN-backed report said 500,000 people were starving in an entirely man-made famine. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dismissed the findings as an outright lie. World News from the BBC. The UK has agreed to pay compensation to almost 8,000 Kenyans affected by a fire caused by a British military training exercise 4 years ago. The out-of-court settlement is thought to be about $4 million. The claimants say they lost property and suffered health complications as a result of the fire in Kenya's Rift Valley. Colombia's President Gustavo Petro has said the security forces have launched an offensive against dissident rebels accused of 2 deadly attacks on Thursday. He said the operation marked the beginning of the end of the EMC group, which he described as the country's biggest drug trafficking organisation. The first attack targeted a police helicopter on a cocoa plant eradication mission, killing 12 police officers. Hours later, a truck bomb went off outside a military airbase in the city of Cali. 6 people were killed. An Israeli man has been arrested after being accused of seeking religious permission from a rabbi to assassinate the country's Attorney General. More from Mike Thompson.
The man is charged with delivering a letter to the influential rabbi requesting permission to assassinate the Attorney General, Gali Biharav Miaru, who's been the target of frequent fierce criticism by the far-right and ultra-Orthodox groups. He's believed to have sought this permission via a traditional Jewish concept called a din radev. Although this has no place in Israeli law, its adherents believe it permits the killing of someone deemed an imminent danger to others. The former Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, who was assassinated in 1995, was the object of such a measure.
The Women's Rugby World Cup has begun with the hosts England thrashing the United States in the opening game. England, who are the clear favourites to lift the trophy, won by 69 points to 7. They haven't been beaten for nearly 3 years. BBC News.
The views and opinions expressed on Straight Talk with Austin and Ellio do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of Stingray Media, its staff, or contributors. Callers to the program accept full responsibility for the views expressed. The show host and affiliates are not liable for any statements made or any harm claimed. All callers to the program indemnify Straight Talk from all claims. Offensive, defamatory, or unlawful content will not be tolerated. Be a part of the conversation by calling 745-2626. Now, here's Straight Talk with Austin and Ellio on Bobo 103.1.
And welcome back, K-Man, to more Straight Talk here on Bobo 103.1 FM and simulcasting live over YouTube and Facebook under the key search words Straight Talk Radio Show. I'm your host, Austin Harris. My colleague and fellow co-host, Ellio Solomon, is presently on leave, but no, he's not on vacation. He is actually working diligently behind the scenes on developing some new online infrastructure that we hope will give you, the valuable listener to the program, even more opportunities to enjoy your favorite talk show, Straight Talk, here on Bobo FM. The phone lines are open at 7 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock at 745-2626. If you want to, again, I guess as we move into our final 23 minutes or so, if you've got a topic that is of interest to you that you'd like us to follow, or maybe a question that perhaps the very comprehensive discussion there with Miss Natalie Porter, Head of Marketing and Communication at Tortuga Fine Wines and Spirits. Certainly we did cover many a base, but certainly we thank her for that history lesson. We thank the family behind the Tortuga Rum Company and Fine Spirits, certainly for their over 40 years of business here in the Cayman Islands. Their contributions have been vast, and they're all of them, not all of them, are, how should we say, touches our tummy and our lips with such satisfaction, but arguably has expanded itself into a number of charitable good works and putting the Cayman Islands on the map through that very world-famous Tortuga rum cake, which now millions have been sold and distributed across our globe. Well, there are two stories that we've been following. Well, one that we've been following rather significantly and closely, and I'm going to maybe save that for the last thing we talk about before I sign off for the evening. But one other one has to do with issues, or in particular developments, that are taking place in one of our very close Caribbean neighbors on the island of Jamaica. Many persons will remember shortly after Donald J. Trump got elected, he began his term in office with his, as promised, immigration reform and mass deportations. No Caribbean island were more impacted negatively, arguably, than the island of Jamaica. And frankly, that didn't sit well with Prime Minister Andrew Holness or his government. And now the Jamaican government are firing back against the American traveler. In a short story, bit of an interview, if not a vignette, some might call it, that we were shared with here on Straight Talk. Here's an interesting discussion on what the island of Jamaica is doing in terms of reciprocity in the face of deportations and tariffs and arguably challenges from the good old United States. Have a listen.
Dream vacation, white sand, turquoise waves, reggae in the air, only to be stopped at the Jamaican border and told, go back. You're not welcome here. That's not fiction. It's happening. Jamaica, a Caribbean paradise once loved by millions of American tourists, has just made a bold decision in 2025. And it's leaving U.S. citizens absolutely furious. This is not just about vacations. This is about pride, power, and a major shift in who holds the cards in the Caribbean. Stay with me, because what just happened could change how Americans travel forever. In 2024, over 2 million American tourists visited Jamaica. They brought in billions, booking resorts, buying rum, partying on the beaches. But in 2025, everything changed. Jamaica drew a red line, and the U.S. didn't see it coming. Let's break down what happened and why this isn't just a travel story, but a wake-up call for the entire Western Hemisphere. Segment 1. Visa-free access revoked for U.S. citizens? In a move no one expected, Jamaican lawmakers announced in mid-2025 that they were reevaluating all visa-free travel arrangements, including with the United States. While Americans used to breeze into Jamaica with just a passport, that might no longer be the case. The reason? Reciprocity and respect. Jamaica claims the U.S. makes it difficult, expensive, and humiliating for Jamaican citizens to get a U.S. visa. Meanwhile, Americans walk in without restrictions. One government minister boldly said, "We are not second-class citizens. If America wants our people to wait months and pay hundreds for a visa, then perhaps we should ask the same of their citizens." Americans, especially frequent travelers and retirees, erupted online, calling it unfair, ungrateful, and politically motivated. But from Jamaica's side, this is about dignity. Segment 2, New Tourist Tax. Americans pay more than locals. On August 1st, 2025, Jamaica introduced a tiered tourism contribution fee. And guess who's paying the highest rate? Americans. Tourists from countries with easy access for Jamaicans, like Canada and the UK, pay a lower tax. But US citizens are being charged 25% more on average. Why? Because Jamaican lawmakers believe it's time for tourism to work for Jamaicans, not just foreign investors. That means more funds go into infrastructure, community housing, and local education. To Americans, it feels like discrimination. To Jamaicans, it's economic justice. Segment 3, U.S. retirees and expats face new property restrictions. For decades, Americans have retired in Jamaica, buying beachfront homes and luxury villas. But now, new laws in 2025 are restricting foreign ownership of coastal property. Jamaican officials say this is to protect local land from being bought out by wealthy outsiders. Americans who already own property are safe, for now. But new buyers face a maze of restrictions, taxes, and waiting periods. Realtors report a 50% drop in U.S. interest in Jamaican properties since May 2025. Segment 4, Jamaica turns to China, not the USA. Here's where things get even more controversial. Jamaica has signed new infrastructure deals with China, worth nearly $3 billion. Chinese companies are now building roads, ports, and even a proposed high-speed rail line connecting Montego Bay to Kingston. This came after years of stalled investment talks with the United States. American officials are not happy. One senator from Florida called it a slap in the face to our decades-long friendship. But Jamaica says the U.S. had their chance and didn't deliver. China showed up with cash, blueprints, and urgency. Now, American influence in Jamaica is slipping fast. Segment 5, Jamaican police crack down on bad tourist behavior. In early 2025, a viral video showed American tourists disrespecting local vendors, mocking patois, and causing public disturbances in Negril. The backlash was swift. In response, Jamaica launched Operation Respect the Culture, an initiative aimed at educating and even penalizing tourists who behave inappropriately. New posters in airports now read, "Welcome to Jamaica. Respect our people, our land, our culture, or don't come at all." Some American influencers have even been banned from re-entry after violating the new behavior guidelines. Tourism boards say it's about preserving culture. Americans are calling it anti-tourist. Segment 6, Jamaica joins new regional bloc without U.S. input. In a stunning geopolitical twist, Jamaica made headlines in June 2025 by officially joining a newly formed Caribbean economic bloc, one designed to foster regional independence, clean energy development, and digital innovation. And the most shocking part, the United States wasn't even invited to the table. This alliance, quietly negotiated over the past year, now includes nations such as Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname, Dominica, Grenada, and St. Lucia. Vincent and the Grenadines, all coming together under a powerful mission to break free from economic dependence on the U.S., the IMF, and former colonial systems, and to create new trade paths and tech ecosystems across the Caribbean and parts of Latin America. This bloc has already signed energy sharing agreements, created a regional digital currency pilot, and is working on a joint climate resilience fund backed by China and the UAE, not Washington. For the United States, this is more than embarrassing. It's a warning shot. American diplomats scrambled to respond, accusing the bloc of ignoring Western partnerships. But the leaders of the alliance, including Jamaica's prime minister, stood firm, saying, "We are not anti-America, we are pro-Caribbean. We're building a future for our children, not the legacy of our former colonizers." Jamaica, once seen as a loyal partner to the U.S., has now shifted its weight, not with guns, but with contracts, treaties, and trade power. And that shift is seismic, because for decades, the Caribbean was seen as America's backyard. In 2025, Jamaica is saying, "We're not your backyard, we're your neighbor, and neighbors get respect." Segment 7, Social Media Backlash. Americans threaten to boycott Jamaica. Within hours of the regional bloc announcement, American social media exploded with rage. Across X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, millions of posts poured in, and many of them weren't pretty. Some of the most viral comments from U.S. users included, "Wow, after all the aid and tourism money we send them, this is the thanks we get? Cancel your vacation. Jamaica just joined the anti-American club." Boycott Jamaica. We made their economy. Now let's break it. On YouTube, major travel influencers warned their followers about growing anti-American sentiment in Jamaica, while others openly declared they'd be taking their money elsewhere, like the Dominican Republic or Mexico. But here's what shocked the internet even more. A massive wave of American voices, especially younger generations, came to Jamaica's defense. They posted, "America doesn't own the Caribbean. Let them grow without our shadow. We always act like we're doing these countries a favor. Maybe they're just tired of our control. Honestly, I respect Jamaica even more now. They're standing up for themselves." On TikTok, the hashtag number #RespectJamaica began trending in parts of the US, Canada, and the UK, with creators applauding the island's bravery. So while one part of America was calling for boycotts and punishments, the other half was saying something totally different. Maybe we're the ones who need to grow up. This isn't just a travel dispute anymore. This is a cultural rupture between entitlement and empowerment. Segment 8. Jamaica blocks. U.S. military presence and surveillance agreements. In yet another jaw-dropping move, Jamaica shocked Washington by canceling all pending negotiations for U.S. military and intelligence cooperation on its soil in mid-2025. For years, the U.S. had been quietly working to expand its Caribbean surveillance network, including proposals for small radar stations, Coast Guard docking rights, and intelligence-sharing outposts across partner islands. Jamaica was considered a key player in this strategy, but in July 2025, the Jamaican government announced it would not proceed with any agreement that allowed U.S. military or intelligence infrastructure to be built or expanded on Jamaican territory. Why? Because Jamaica wants neutrality and independence, not to become a pawn in global power struggles, especially between the United States and China. A high-level Jamaican official stated, "We will not allow our land to be used as a staging ground for anyone's geopolitical games. Jamaica is not a tool. We are a sovereign nation." This announcement immediately drew concern and criticism from Washington. U.S. defense analysts claimed this could make the region more vulnerable to drug trafficking, illegal fishing, and foreign influence, especially from adversaries like Russia and China. But Jamaica's leadership fired back, saying, "We can protect our own borders, and we will work with partners who respect our sovereignty, not dominate it." The American reaction was instant, and intense social media lit up once again. Now they don't even want to help stop crime? We protected Jamaica for decades, now they spit in our face? Good luck defending yourself without our help. But this wasn't about defense. This was about control. Jamaicans, especially the younger generation, have grown increasingly aware of how military presence often leads to political pressure, and how hosting foreign bases rarely benefits the average citizen. They don't want to become another proxy playground in the rising U.S.-China rivalry. Instead, Jamaica is signaling to the world, we choose peace, not occupation. The bigger picture, a new non-aligned movement, with this bold rejection of U.S. military presence, some analysts are now calling Jamaica a leader in a new wave of non-aligned countries, nations choosing not to pick sides between the world's biggest powers. It's a path once led by India and Yugoslavia during the Cold War. Now, in 2025, Jamaica may be sparking a Caribbean non-aligned identity, one that prioritizes local development over foreign dependence, peace over militarization, and sovereignty over silent submission. This stance is gaining quiet support in places like Barbados, St. Lucia, and even Belize, where citizens are asking, why should we let superpowers decide our fate when we can build our own? So whether you're looking at visa bans, tourist taxes, regional alliances, or military pushback, Jamaica is doing something unprecedented in 2025, redefining what it means to be a small nation with big principles. The island isn't picking a side between the U.S. and its rivals. It's choosing its own side. And that is the boldest move of all.
And there you go, K-Man. It's a very, I thought, an interesting discussion, if you will. Certainly a... How did I get rid of that, I wonder? Hit escape. There we go. There it goes. But I really got to give credit to Jamaica, clearly punching way above its weight. Arguably, some people will say some controversial decisions. Others might say very innovative, outside-the-box thinking. I'm one of those on the latter side, saying, taking a position of reciprocity. If you do unto us, we too shall do unto you. And, of course, in so doing, demanding respect for themselves and saying we won't be bullied by global powers, which, of course, again, is the punching way above their weight size. Jamaica, obviously, a region in the Caribbean, but making some very significant geopolitical moves and even seeing itself aligning even more so with China. Undoubtedly, this will put it in the crosshairs with the United States. But I got to tell you, I'm one of those people, after listening to that report, that, say respect to Jamaica. They have started to do things that has been talked about here in the Cayman Islands, particularly trying to control their real estate market. Again, trying to hang on to some of its valuable beachfront property in Cayman. You can't find a public beach anywhere. They're becoming rarer and rarer as, rich investors come and swoop up those properties. It's nice to see the Jamaican government seeking to protect future generations and protect some of its natural assets for themselves. I think it's also encouraging to see Jamaica establishing ties of unity and partnership, not just globally, but within the Caribbean, obviously partnering with Barbados, which is, again, another Caribbean island punching way above its weight with their Prime Minister, Mia Mottley, who is a regular speaker at the United Nations and is also herself no stranger to controversy. Obviously, the government led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness making some groundbreaking, forward-looking, and far-reaching moves that is going to anger some, but arguably make the rest of us in the Caribbean look to them as innovators and perhaps some examples of how the rest of us might want to consider how we protect our own and how we allow others to treat us. I just thought I'd share that little vignette, if you will, with our listening audience. Obviously, we in the program, my colleague and I have talked about it many times. We got a lot of time for Jamaica. We used to be a part of Jamaica, and whilst Cayman and Jamaica have had, different fortunes, we've each gone on to build different things, but there's still a lot of room to recognize good work and things that are certainly considered groundbreaking and innovative, something we used to be. But in this instance, seeming like Jamaica may very well have taken that prize for 2025. Undoubtedly, there will be ramifications. There will be consequences. It remains to be seen what those consequences will be. Jamaica obviously putting itself on the radar, if not the bullseye of the great United States. And, of course, with President Donald Trump out there, he doesn't like to be pushed around or pushed back. But Jamaica, again, doing its own version of pushing back, protecting their own, and in so doing, making some innovative, groundbreaking, and as I said, some may even say controversial moves that seeks to protect its own interests, its people, and undoubtedly its economy. So Jamaica, watch this space because there's a lot going on that island. And again, I just found that little segment so informative that I had to share it with you, the listening audience. 27 minutes now past the hour of 6 o'clock, giving us, about 2 minutes or so before we have to wrap it up. Just really an opportunity to potentially highlight what's coming up next week. Next week, Tuesday, there is a Caymanian short filmmaker who has produced a new short film. It's a superhero film called Awesome Man. Asher Lopez will be our guest on Tuesday, sharing his vision for this new short film. He will be joined by another Caymanian local, Badir Awe, who I believe was the film director and producer. Both of them will be our guests in studios talking about this new short film, obviously, which was filmed in the Cayman Islands. Giving us a bit of background on the project and certainly how far-reaching this short film showcase is, serving to feature and benefit the Cayman Islands, but also to highlight some of the great and exciting things that our young Caymanians, the future generation, is doing. Straight Talk doing our part to promote all things Cayman. And on Tuesday, we will be continuing that trend. On Wednesday, of course, you can be sure to tune in for our continued series, The Candidates Forum, a look back at life after the campaign, where we don't focus on the winners, but arguably the people that nobody remembers after the election. And those are the candidates who did not successfully win a seat. What happens to them? Where are they now? What have they learned? And more importantly, will they be back for more political fun in 2029? Again, that discussion kicks off on Wednesday. We want to encourage you to be a part of that. Also, Nick Joseph is once again in the headlines talking about the government's plans for immigration reform, which could include bringing back the Caymanian Protection Law. We hope to get him as our guest in studios and share some of his insights on what that could mean for Cayman. And really, is it more laws we need, or should we just simply enforce the ones we have? You know what side we stand on. But definitely, we hope you have a great weekend and want to encourage you to tune in to Straight Talk each and every weekday evening from 4:30 to 6:30 right here on Bobo 103.1.
The home of the BBC World Service, the most trusted news source in the world. This